Hi there, I'm Christine Zips. If you love a child, I hope you'll take a few minutes to set aside the hype of the season and consider this important message. I don't ask you to take my opinion as your own or even to believe my words. However, I do hope to provoke your curiosity so you'll want to research my words. You'll find related reference links in the comments section below to aid in that research. Is it just me, or does the holiday hype begin earlier and earlier each year? It's not even Thanksgiving, and Black Friday is almost upon us. The retailer chorus can be heard on every street corner. Buy, 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 spend, 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 give us all you got. All seriousness aside, I'm compelled to share something about what's not being said. It is clear that wireless devices are taking center stage on the top gifts lists this season. How fun, convenient, and exciting, right? Yes, it sure is all of that. However, there's a dark side to this wireless technology. Did you know that pulsed microwave radiation emits from every wireless device? Why is this important, you ask? This Class 2B possible carcinogen interferes with our bioelectric systems and can cause permanent DNA changes. Also, it leads to chronic conditions including anxiety, depression, and even cancer, heart attacks, and suicide among our young people who are more vulnerable to this radiation. It also impacts the blood-brain barrier and infertility. There are tens of thousands of peer-reviewed published scientific studies showing harmful effects of microwave radiation frequencies. The telecom industry is rapidly producing wireless toys to feed our increased wants for these items and claims they are safe despite the current health trends and concerns from the medical community, which suggest otherwise. Just like smoking, you increase air pollution with an increased number of smokers. Similarly, increase the number of wireless devices and downloading data increase the EMF pollution. Smokers sensitive to the harmful effects didn't develop tumors for 20 years or more. Unfortunately, we are seeing negative biological effects in cell phone users within 7 to 10 years. Most people aren't aware that breast and brain tumors are prevalent among high-frequency users. Those who inadvertently leave their cell phone on close to their body 24/7 are at a high risk for tumors. Let's look at examples of some of the wireless products on the market. The earlier a person starts being exposed to this pulse microwave radiation, the more their risks of serious conditions increase. Children are more vulnerable. Please do your own research before considering exposing them to additional cumulative radiation levels. The wearable devices within activity trackers are popular. Check out the selfie stick toy. And can you think about the damage being done to eyeballs so close to the cell phone inside virtual reality headsets? Think about how microwave ovens excite the water molecules to cook the food, and that we are mostly water, our eyeballs especially so. Mattel's Hello Barbie exposes children to electromagnetic radiation with its Wi-Fi technology. If the risks increase the longer a person is exposed to this radiation, does it even make sense to have it near a baby? By the way, pregnant women are especially vulnerable to this radiation and should not use it without taking precautions. For example, holding a laptop on her belly is obviously not a good idea. This chart, courtesy of Janice Barcelo, shares data from EMC Technologies Australia, compares peak power densities from various radio frequency sources. Notice the extremely high levels coming from baby monitors. Keep in mind that manufacturers are in business to turn a profit. They are influenced by the telecom industry, also in business to turn a profit, and their profits are staggering. To give you an idea, AT&T gross profit for the 12 months ending September 30th, 2019 was $97.651 billion, a 13.02% increase year over year, according to Macro Trends. Verizon Wireless reported third quarter earnings that beat analysts' expectations on the top and bottom line, aided by strong growth in its wireless business with a revenue $32.9 billion versus $32.7 billion expected. It's time we wake up to the truth about the health impact of cell phone radiation. These images are courtesy of Environmental Health Trust. Alan Marks shares his story of how his long-term use of cell phones resulted in grand mal seizure and a large mass in his brain, a glioblastoma. He urges all of us to not think that it won't happen to us as he did. We are grateful that he's doing well and for his sharing his moving story with us. How many of us can say they use their cell phone, especially holding it to their head 30 minutes a day or more? Cell phones are linked with brain, thyroid, and breast cancer tumors. The late attorney, Jimmy Gonzalez, sadly paid the ultimate price for his high use of his cell phone. You will see by these illustrations that he experienced 3 cancers developing in his head, in his hand, and near his suit pocket. And you won't be alone if you're having a hard time believing that this invisible force is impacting us in such a way. I do hope you will set aside 4 minutes to view this important video message, courtesy of the folks at emfoff.com. Also, you'll want to consider again how a microwave oven cooks food, as well as how our bodies are mostly water. I've posted a link to a short measurement I did with my EMF meter with our microwave oven in the comments section below. Take a moment to check out the symptoms of electrohypersensitivity. Do you or your loved ones experience these with any regularity? Please keep in mind that children absorb up to 10 times more wireless radiation in the bone marrow of their skull compared with adults. And this data provides evidence about their vulnerability. The biological effects from this technology is cumulative. It would be a good idea to consider how much time we are spending on screens, as well as the risks of excessive use, especially for our children. This technology is contributing to isolationism, decreased self-esteem, and depression. How often do we see kids, and adults for that matter, spending time together while each is on their own device? Does anything seem more than a little off to you about this scenario? Check out how much time our kids are spending on screens. Of course, it seems logical that our eyes would take a hit when this pulse microwave radiation interacts with body parts with high water content. When a person talks on a cell phone or looks at a smartphone display, the eyes receive a large dose of microwave radiation. Even if we're not using a smartphone, our eyes are still being exposed to microwave radiation from the local environment, as well as from the cell phones being used by other people near us. Based on decades of research, we can expect the combined effects of microwave radiation used in modern microwave devices to damage our vision and to damage the vision of our children. Whenever something seems questionable, it can be helpful to follow the money. This is no exception. It's important to note that the communications industry is one of the largest lobbying groups in U.S. history. Internet service providers in the United States have spent more than $1.2 billion on lobbying since 1998. And 2018 was the biggest year so far, with a total spend of more than $80 billion. Comparatech researchers compiled and analyzed 51 ISPs' lobbying expenses from the U.S. Senate's Lobbying Disclosure Act database, which dates to 1998. Here are the highlights of their analysis. 2018 was the biggest year yet for ISP lobbying at $80 million. Top spenders include AT&T, Verizon, and Comcast, which have amassed lobbying expenses of $340 million, $265 million, and $200 million respectively since 1998. Since 2011, yearly spending on lobbying across all ISPs hasn't strayed below $72 million. Again, following the money. Here we have a case in point. The former commissioner of the FCC, Tom Wheeler, raised $700,000 for Obama's campaigns. Interesting bedfellows there. It can help to look at the stats of disease growth since 1990. Take a close look at the neurological categories of bipolar, autism, anxiety, depression, hypertension, insomnia. These seem to be running rampant among our youth today. Just the other day, I noticed magazine covers, and 3 of them in this one store, and they were focused on mental health issues, depression, anxiety, suicide. You see it everywhere. It is alarming. Our group is monitoring CEL, our wired schools group is monitoring suicide and cancer clusters in schools in the United States, and it's most concerning. Toril Yeltner, MD, shared in the book Electronic Silent Spring about her first approach for children with autism is to offer families a 2-week electromagnetic radiation reduction trial. From researching environmental and integrative medicine, she learned that in environments with less electromagnetic radiation, children with autism excrete greater amounts of heavy metals, which is a good thing. She also learned that exposure to EMR from wireless technologies can impair a person's ability to detox. This chart compares autistic spectrum disorders with typical child radio frequency exposures, showing selected injury death rates by intent and leading methods of unintentional injury for children and adolescents aged 10 to 19 years of age group in the US. Again, follow the money. The media is mostly owned by 6 mega corporations. Big telecom, with their deep lobbying budgets, can easily control the ads that promote their products that are not held back by pesky details as proper safety testing. It's not media's job to run quality control on the products they advertise. Here's a handy tool in antennasearch.com. You can simply plug in any US address to bring up the number of cell phone antennas and towers within a 1 to 4 mile radius. This one shows the density within a 1 mile radius of the Capitol building in downtown Denver, Colorado, with 860 antennas. You'll see it popped up in alert status. By the way, this is not a comprehensive tool, for it does not show the unregistered or unlicensed towers, but it gives you a really good indicator you might want to plug into, especially if you're extra sensitive to this technology. When we look at the history of other products brought to market that was proven to cause harm and consider how long it took for the truths to be validated, it's not that difficult to make the connection with wireless technology, taking a couple of decades or more to even raise awareness. Again, from the folks at Environmental Health Trust, they bring some excellent recommendations for safer toys for children. I love the idea of making a date with your child to explore nature. Here's a sobering statistic that supports why the time is now to restore some balance. Can you even believe the average American child can recognize 1,000 corporate logos, but can't identify 10 plants or animals native to their own region? That's just sad. How very special to gift a loved one with focused one-on-one time without technology. Bonus points for involving nature and animals, right? Amen. Thank you so much for your time and consideration of this information. We hope we've managed to provoke curiosity, so you'll want to check this out further and make up your own mind. If you enjoyed this presentation, kindly help us spread the message by giving this channel a like, subscribe, comment, and share far and wide for our children. All of us at Wired Schools wish you and yours a warm and healthy holiday season as we draw another decade to a close to welcome a bright new year.